The Ohaneze Youth Council has sent a very strong message to Biafrans all over the world. According to them, they said that on the 30th day of May 2026, which is the Biafran Day or the Biafran Memorial Day, that Biafrans all over the world are expected to be on black, to wear black on that day, as a sign of remembrance of those killed during the 1967-1970 Biafran War. Not only that, they also said that on that day, families should reflect and families should also pray for those who have died in the cause to achieve Biafra. As we can see from this news, it says, Ohaneze Youth asked Igbos to wear black on May 30th, and this news was published on the 26th day of May 2026. Now, we are going to go down to this news to see why Ohaneze is asking people to wear black on that day, and also to see some other, instructions that are given Biafrans. Of course, you know that, May 30th is a very big day in Biafra land. Of course, I'll be here to give you an update of everything that is happening there on that very day, right? So please, if this is your first time coming across my video on my channel, please do well to subscribe, because on this channel I get you information of everything that is happening in Biafra land, in Nigeria, and even outside Nigeria. So let us go down to this news and see why or what they mean by this.
In 1967, the eastern region of Nigeria, led by the visionary Lieutenant Colonel Chukwuemeka Odumegwu, declared the independent state of Biafra after due consultations with the Eastern Consultative Assembly in response to a brutal pogrom that saw over 80,000 Igbos massacred in northern Nigeria. What followed was not just a war, it was a genocide, but it was also the story of incredible resistance. From General Philip Effiong, the brave second in command who led till the end, to fearless fighters like Brigadier Comrade Didier Nwawo, Colonel Achuzie, the Hannibal of Biafra, and Major Onwatuegu. These men wrote their names in the book of African resistance. Biafra heroes, they were soldiers. Biafra heroes were also farmers. Biafra heroes that we talk about today and remember today and honor this very day. They were nurses. Biafra heroes, they were children as well. From the fields of Abagana to the rivers of Uguta, they stood between death and dignity. They never succumbed. They never. Some of their names echo like thunder through history. General Chukwuemeka Odumegwu, the voice of resistance and father of Biafra. Major Chukwuma Kaduna Nzogu, young, very bold and visionary. General Alexander Madebo, the defender of the East. Colonel Joe Achuzie, the Hannibal of Biafra. Colonel Comrade Nwawo, Brigadier Obugo Kalu, and many more. Though some of them may have been forgotten by history, but not by us, we remember. The nation of Biafra stood and fought, and there are some nations of the world that stood alongside Biafra. Biafra's cry for freedom echoed around the world, but the world responded in whisper. Biafra stood alone, but not completely alone. These are the nations and organizations that supported Biafra diplomatically or through humanitarian aid. Gabon, Haiti, Tanzania, Zambia, and Ivory Coast. They recognized Biafra's independence, but Britain, the former colonial master under Harold Wilson, threw its full weight behind Nigeria, supplying weapons, supplying strategies, supplying silence against the Biafran people, all in the name of protecting their oil interest in Imo State, in Abia State, and the Niger Delta, in quote. They saw oil, but we saw lives. Bruce Mayrock set himself on fire in protest to Biafra's genocide in the front of the United Nations building in New York, United States. Doctors Without Borders was born out of the need to supply and bring about succor to the suffering Biafrans during the war. The Red Cross and the Caritas showed their support for Biafra. the Holy See, Vatican, and several church organizations in Ireland, in France, and in Canada. They offered prayers and they offered aids. Today, we remember all of them. Today, we remember those who died, those who went beyond the boundaries of selfishness, the boundaries of parochial interest, the boundaries of regionalism, to stand against what is contrary to the principles of humanity, in defense of humanity, not just in defense of Biafrans, but in defense of humanity and the sacredness of human life. We remember all of you today. To all those who dare to speak to power, we remember you today. Please like this video immediately, share widely. I am Pastor Maxwell. Now we like this video, share it widely, that others may understand that there is a people called Biafran people who were massacred in their millions between the 1967 to the 1970, and today they are not just alive, they are not just survivors, but they are thriving, and there is a hope of the reclamation and the restoration of the same sovereignty of this great republic that was never allowed to live beyond 3.5 years. To those who dare to speak to powers, even till today, we still remember you. But not all hands were clean. We discovered that some nations chose oil over justice. Some men chose politics over humanity. Britain armed and supported the Nigerian government with weapons, with trainings and strategic guidance. Oh, we saw that the Soviet Union and Egypt also, they supplied warplanes and bombers. We discovered that the world power, the United Nations, the United States, despite public outcry, remained officially neutral in the face of senseless war of aggression, in the face of genocide against those who are only seeking for the betterment of their future and of their people. When they couldn't defeat Biafra on the battlefield, what did they do? They resorted to what they called blockade, hunger, which is the cruelest weapon, hunger. And in the course of this blockade and starvation, over 3 million Biafran children, both women, both the elderly, they all died, not by bullet, but by the deliberate policy of starvation. Chief Obafemi Awolowo, then the Federal Commissioner for Finance, he famously declared very openly and very boldly, throwing caution into the wind. What did he say? All is fair in war, and starvation is a legitimate weapon, cutting food and medicine supplies to the Biafran territory and to the Biafran people, calling it a legitimate weapon of war, a policy that was defended, unfortunately, by leaders like Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, whose military strategies included blockades that strangled Biafra into silence. And so, over 3 million Biafrans, mostly children, they were starved to death. They were starved to death. They didn't die as criminals. They didn't die as convicted felons. They died defending themselves, their right to existence, their right to self-determination and self-governance. Kwashiorkor became the silent scream of a generation. There were traitors within the Biafran camp. You may understand. Major Emmanuel Ifeanyi, one of them, a Biafran officer, he was executed for treason after leaking critical secrets to the Nigerian side. Figures like Ken Saro-Wiwa, though he was later martyred by the Nigerian government during the time of General Sani Abacha, he opposed the Biafrans during the war, believing that the Niger Delta should not be a part of it. Their choices left scars that still sting today. You need to understand that in January 1970, General Philip Effiong declared the end of the war, but not the end of the dream, which we can bear witness today, that the end of the dream has not come, and it's not anywhere close to coming to an end until the restoration of Biafra and the reclamation of the lost sovereignty of Biafra comes into reality.
Officer of Police administering the government of the Republic of Biafra now wish to make the following declaration. That we are loyal Nigerian citizens and accept the authority of of the Federal Military Government of Nigeria. That we accept the existing administrative and political structure of the Federation of Nigeria. That any future constitutional arrangement will be worked out by representatives of the people of Nigeria. That the Republic of Biafra hereby ceases to exist.
Biafra lives on, not in borders alone. Biafra lives on, not by territories or boundaries alone, but in spirit, in ideology, and through the voice of the people. The drums of freedom beat louder than ever. We do not remember because we hate. This you need to understand. We never ever talk about remembrance of the heroes on the 30th of May out of hatred, out of selfishness, out of tribalism. We remember because they were human. We remember because they matter. We remember because memory is very, very resistant. Memory is also resistance, and silence is betrayal. If we do not remember, if we just dismiss what had happened between 1967 to 1970 with a wave of hand, that means betrayal. That means betrayal. And we are not betrayers. We remember so that our children will understand that their ancestors did not die in vain. The rising hope, which is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the new Biafra struggle. From the ashes of pain, we can see that a voice has risen, not just a voice, but an icon of freedom and reclamation and restoration of the sovereignty of the Republic of Biafra that was lost in the course of the war. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, who has reignited a call for freedom with a courage that surpasses human understanding and conviction, despite imprisonment, despite torture, despite unlawful detention. His voice continues to awaken the conscience of millions, and his message refuses to die, regardless of state-sponsored antagonism, state-sponsored blackmail and propaganda. His vision, his dream, his message has refused to die. We call not just for his unconditional release today. We call for justice. That Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be released unconditionally today. It is not just a call of his personal freedom, but a call for justice through radio waves and rallies, through courts and chains. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has become the symbol of the rebirth of Biafra, not just the rebirth of Biafra, but the restoration of Biafra. He speaks not of secession, but of self-determination, human rights, and the restoration of a stolen identity of Biafra. And despite betrayal from within and oppression from without, the hope lives and never to die anytime soon. I want you to understand that every man, every woman, from the Biafran extraction, from the Igbo extraction, you must understand that May 30th should be more than a memorial. It should be more than a memorial. It should be a recommitment to truth. It should be a recommitment to unity. It should be a recommitment to what Biafra stands and symbolizes in this part of the world. To the Biafran soldiers, we salute you. To the mothers who buried their babies with their bare hands, we remember you today and we salute you. To the children who held their last breath under air raids and bombardments, we remember you today and we salute you. We say you are not forgotten and you will never be forgotten. And to every living Biafran today, including every one of you that write on the social media, that publish on the internet, that do videos, that participate in one form of demonstration or another in solidarity with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to ensure that justice is done, to ensure that he's released unconditionally, we remember you and we salute you. To all the men and women of good conscience, conscientious people, clergymen, lawyers, all his legal representatives who have not soiled their hands in the course of this very trial or persecution, we remember and we salute you. And I said to you all, unite. This is your strength. Unity is your power. Unity is a common force that can never be broken by any resistance or opposition. Speak the truth and fear not. Build your region. Build your region. Remember the past, because the spirit of Biafra is still alive and lives, and soonest it shall rise again in total freedom. Please watch every other video on this channel that I have released, every other video in the description below this video, every link in the description below this video, and I believe God will bless you immensely as you support and relentlessly march towards the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from the dungeon. God bless.